What's good people? Derek Jackson here. So I was just scrolling and I saw this post about Jeannie Mai. She's I forget what show she's on, but she's a talk show host and she's engaged to Young Jeezy, and how she's getting a lot of backlash because she said that she wants to submit to her husband once she gets married to him. And of course you have people on different sides, you know, a lot of backlash, but you have both women saying that they ain't with that submitting stuff, and you have women that were saying, like, you know, it'd be nice to submit. I'm down for that too, but I don't know what kind of guy I'm supposed to submit to because I don't see him out here. And you had a lot of dudes rooting for her and all that good stuff. So let me just say this, because everybody likes to talk about how great submission is, especially fellas. But one of the top criteria of a woman that is going to submit, I believe, should be that she has properly identified a man that is worth submitting to, that she has identified whether or not a man is even fit to lead, something that a lot of guys don't know. And at one point in time, I didn't either. But one of the top ways, one of the best ways you can identify a man who is fit to lead is first off asking him what his idea is of a leader. After he says, oh, protector and provider, because we all love that, he should describe something like a sacrificial example setter. Because when you talk about a man leading, that's a biblical concept. So a lot of guys out here will choose that. A man's supposed to lead, a man's supposed to be the head of the household, but they don't choose the part that describes how a man is supposed to lead in the Bible, which it describes it as, you know, in the same way that Jesus loved the church. Jesus gave his life. He sacrificed for the church. That's how a man figuratively is supposed to lead, in a sacrificial way. He's supposed to sacrificially, not just talk the talk, but set the example. Like, I had a guy hit me up and he was like, yo, D, you know, I make the money, I do this, I do that, but my woman don't want to listen. And she don't want to listen. I tell her this, I tell her that. I told her she don't know how to listen, but she don't want to listen. And I was like, yo, how did you teach her? Like, how did you convey this to her? How did you try to show her this? He was like, I told you, I let her know. I was like, that's the first thing that's wrong with this. Before you can lead a woman with your words, you have to lead her with your walk. If you're going to tell your woman that she needs to listen, or whatever it is that you're trying to tell her to do, in which we got to be careful about that anyway. But if you're going to tell her that, you need to be able to point to a body of consistent action by you in a relationship where you were an example of that. Sacrificially, meaning you didn't get anything back. There was no reciprocity for this particular time. Of course, we want that at some point, but that's not what you're supposed to be driven by as a leader, as a man. There was no get back. There were no guarantees, but you showed her. And by the way, when we're talking about listening, because something else that a lot of guys don't understand, there's different types of listening. You know, a lot of times we listen for that key word, you know, that buzzword that we can use to invalidate our woman or to win the debate, win the argument. But when I'm saying listening, like, I'm supposed to be listening to understand, like listen to truly understand what she means behind those specific words that she's talking, or whatever words that she's using. Like when a woman says, oh, you never check women whenever they flirt with you. She's not saying you literally never check them. What she's saying is, it's so rare for you to set the boundaries that I need to be comfortable that I no longer am. I no longer trust you. I no longer feel safe with you. So whenever you're trying to show your woman or tell your woman anything, you should be able to look at the time whenever you did that over and over again throughout a period of time, 2-3 months. And from there, a woman is going to give your words the power that they deserve after the fact, after your walk proves what it is that you're saying. The second trait that you can identify a true leader by is one who is led by his mission, not his feelings. Of course, if a man is going to be led by his mission and not his feelings, he has to have a mission. All of that, oh, we're going to see where things go, that means that he's going to wait to see whenever it no longer feels convenient, and then you out the door. Because you can't ask a woman to submit to you when you're submitted to your feelings. Your feelings change with the wind. So what mission is she subbing to? Submission. What mission is she subbing to if both of y'all are led by your feelings? And if you led by your feelings and they change with the wind, you're not leading her. You're just going to be confusing her. So over the last couple of years, we all know guys that keep talking about, oh, she need to be my peace. How's she going to be your peace and you can't be her certainty? You can't be her clarity. You can't be her consistency. You can't do none of that because there is no mission. More times than not, you should be saying to your woman, okay, even though I felt like this, I was hurt. Even though I felt angry, even though I felt rejected by this thing that you did, this thing that you said, I did that because that is my mission. My mission is to love you. My mission is to support you. My mission is to be faithful to you. My mission is to build you up. If you can't do that, you're leading all wrong. The third way to know that a man has the traits of a true leader is if he can lovingly initiate difficult conversation. This kind of ties into being led by your mission and not your feelings, because that's what it requires. But what I mean is, of course, every guy can have those hard conversations that may hurt your feelings, that you may not like, that may rub you the wrong way. But if there's no love there, if there's just bitterness, if there's just condescension in the way that he talks, if there's just sarcasm whenever he's bringing these things up, no matter what it is, if there's no love there, there's no leader there. Now it's getting kind of dark. So I actually go more in depth about this in my book, Don't Forget Your Crown. It's actually in the chapter where I talk about how we as men need to do more than just protecting and providing. I go way more in depth. So if you want to check that out and you haven't yet, I'll put the link down in the caption to Don't Forget Your Crown. Actually, I'll put it at 50% off for those who missed the last sale. But overall, man, and to the ladies that was talking about, I ain't gonna let no man lead me. I ain't submitting to nothing. Let me say this. More times than not, there's not a real problem, or you haven't encountered a real problem with leadership done right. You've just encountered somebody who didn't know how to lead, because a man is supposed to lead you closer to peace, closer to your goals, closer to more self-esteem, closer to more confidence, closer to loving yourself more, closer to God. And if he's leading you away from any of those things, you need to tell him to lead himself out the door. Because if you submit to that type of leader, you're going to end up submerged in toxicity. I promise you. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Again, Don't Forget Your Crown is at 50% off at the link in the caption where I go way more in depth. I'll let y'all later. Be good. Peace.